Hello, this is Alejandro Bratti and William Ali from Unlock Clarity, and welcome to the Spanglish World Networks on Single TV channel 250. Please remember to download both the Single TV app on the respective app stores on iOS and Android. While you download, make sure to rate and leave a comment. The app is free and available in Google Chromecast, Amazon Fire, Roku, and all smart TVs. Today, I don't know, but I see myself very like freezing. Not sure if it's working okay or not. Uh,
I can hear you fine.
okay, so my computer is helping me a lot today. So today the topic is very interesting. It's about toxic masculinity. We have been talking in the last weeks about masculinity not only as males but as an energy and an energetic point of view. When we have some different emotions that are more connected to the masculinity point of view, and what happens when you have a toxic masculinity or that energy is toxic. So it happens is harming individuals, harming society, it's harming yourself. And again, we are not talking about you as a male or a female. We are talking to you as a person that has some of these energies, but not in a good or healthy manner. Uh, so the first thing that we want to be talking is okay, how you what are the different ways that you can be manifesting that part of toxic masculinity. So one of them can be the suppression of emotions. So in that regards, William, when we're talking about suppression of emotions, I know that you have a very interesting life in the past where you needed to suppress that. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, I can. As a intelligent, uh, Franya says, I'm not just smart, I'm intelligent because I can analyze and so forth. And I've been this way since I can remember. And my first memory goes back to like 18 months old. Um, so being an empath and so forth and so on. It's one of those things of you wear your emotions on your sleeve. You should stop that. Um, there was a point in time in school where, and I went to a Christian school, um, and it wasn't the nicest place to go. Children are mean, then you get into other things, and so uh, there was a point in time where I was overwhelmed as an empath, whatever was going on, and I was bawling in a room full of other school age boys. And they were looking at me funny because I was expressing emotions and all that. So, what would any self respecting male do? I started slapping myself so that I would stop crying.
Mm.
It made sense at the time. The sad thing is that um, I didn't realize it, but I was shutting off almost all of my emotions. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm still an empath. I'm a very strong empath. It's just that um, I shut off all of the so-called feminine emotions. And my dad raised me with the concept of if at first you don't succeed, grab a big hammer, smash it to bits, and start over. Yeah, that was nice. Not. So, yeah, it's just, especially for, well, anymore, it's anybody, but especially for boys back, when was this, 40 years ago? Yeah. Um, it's a matter of if you're too, and also, I'm in the Ozarks with lots of hillbillies and people who don't show much emotion. So, yeah, I'm born into a family that doesn't show much emotion. That went well. So, anyway, it's just it took me, man, at least 20 to 25 years to get even somewhat decent at learning how to cry. Lots of therapy and lots of 12-step recovery for food and so forth and so on. So yeah, just and yeah, growing up on a farm and such, and I still look like probably I could break somebody in half without thinking about it. And so I don't get a whole lot of grief when I talk about liking to quilt or um, having played with dolls at 5 with the neighbor girl. Um, one week we'd play cowboys and Indians. The other week we'd do whatever. It's like I, by the same token, when I was in school, it was truly a challenge because you're not supposed to act this way. Hmm. Okay. Who knew that?
And really, what we can see, and that happens a lot. It's like, okay, boys don't cry, and if you are crying too much, you need to do something about it. And that happens all the time, even in ourselves. Like, I have two kids, and when they are crying too much, it's like, I don't tell them that boys don't cry, but it's like, oh, but you can stop crying for everything. Like, what is happening here? It's like you start to feel like aggressive with that, and the reality is that they are expressing their emotions, and how aware we are with that and connecting with that idea can change everything. The other topic that we have is about aggression and dominance. That's another thing that can start to show a toxic masculinity. Is, and I can tell you from my point of view, something that happened to me is when I was in corporate and I was working like in big projects in different countries and moving from one country to another and fixing problems in each project. And maybe I had in some cases more than 100 people under my management. It was like, okay, right now I need them to do exactly what I want to do, and for me it was not something difficult to manage the people that I had. It was more the all the stakeholders and all the people that wanted different results or different things. And how I managed them, I learned to be aggressive, and I was thinking that that was the way that I can show power. And just by, okay, if you don't like it, I don't care, and suddenly I even developed this thinking that I don't care too much about people. I care about the results. Eh, and and it took a long time to start to see, no, I really care about people, nothing else. That's why I have this program. That's why I have other programs. Like, I am trying to help people. Now I am a coach that is helping people to really improve themselves and become their best version. But from the aggressive and the dominant point of view, what I was doing is suppressing completely the emotions, completely the connection with others, a connection with the well-being of others. It's about me taking the decisions and them doing what I am saying, and it doesn't matter how aggressive I can become. I just need them to do whatever I want, and that's where I am not saying that I ever became maybe physical dominant, trying to like act like with violence physically, but with my voice, with the way that I was behaving, with the way that I was doing some of the things, yes, I was being very aggressive and even violent, I can say. And what we are saying, that it's toxic. If you need to put yourself like attacking anybody and even the well-being of others, that means that you are being toxic. And once again, you can see this thing that we are telling, doesn't matter if you're a male or a woman. maybe normally you see more of this in a male than in a woman, but it doesn't matter. At the end, when you start to see right now women that are very successful and they are going up in the ladder in the corporate or in the enterprises or in the businesses, suddenly they start to use this aggression and dominance to try to take control and have people doing whatever they want. And it's like, okay, that is a toxic relationship that is going to manifest maybe not exactly what you are looking for. So, what are you looking for? And any comment on that, William?
Well, only to say that when we get to the feminine energy part, we'll also explore some toxic femininity in a few weeks when we get that far. So that's the whole thing is we all have both. And just to reiterate, as we have many times, this isn't about gender. This is about behaviors and energetics.
So, what we want to do right now is to move to the action steps, but today we want to do it a little bit different. And if you are able to do it with your eyes closed, do it with the eyes closed. If you want to do it with your eyes open, it's okay. Uh, But what we are going to do is a little bit of meditation and awareness, self reflection. And why is that? Because in the action steps, we have been talking lately a lot in the last months. I am not going to say in the last weeks, but in the last months about the power of meditation and connecting with your true self and starting to find the solution inside of you. So when you have this toxic masculinity or relationship with your emotions and with your aggression and with your dominance, what's happening is there is some need inside that it's burning inside of you that maybe you need to start to open. So if you can close your eyes, just close it and start to breathe and start to breathe deeply and start to imagine that you are connecting your breathing to your heart. And in that connection, start to feel your all your emotions, good or bad. Don't judge them, just feel them. Start to feel uh, what we were talking about, maybe what William was saying about his childhood and how he needed to suppress his emotions. Maybe that was something that happened to you, or what I was saying about this aggression and dominance. Maybe you are experiencing something of that right now, and you are feeling that you are not being yourself. You feel that you are being so aggressive with others, and even with the people that you love, you are being aggressive, and you don't understand why, but something is inside that is not okay. And from that point start to bring the awareness, the self-reflection, start to bring growth. The first step is always know that I have something to change, that there is a problem, there is an inconformity, that there is something where you can grow. And that's exactly what we are talking here, how you are going to expand with this thing that you are looking for right now. From that point, start to reflect on the beliefs. Maybe you have some beliefs that are affecting you, uh, and they can come to your mind like, oh, I understand now. The belief is that I believe that nobody will listen to me, so I have to be aggressive. Uh, I believe that people doesn't have to see my vulnerability. They don't have to see my weaknesses. That's why I don't show any emotion. But you know what? That is what makes you human. That is what makes you a person. That improves, and that is what is going to make you different from others. You don't want to be exactly the same as others. You want to be yourself, unique. What thoughts, what beliefs, what behaviors do you want to challenge, and start to see them and challenge them in your head. And when we finish, if you want to write it down, everything that you want to change, write it down. If you want some help because, oh, I can see some things, but I don't know what to do, you can always contact somebody that knows about this or even contact us. That's exactly what we do, helping people to improve themselves, to be their best version. Continue breathing deeply. If you have a lot of thoughts, just focus on your breathing. Be aware of even the emotions that are coming. Maybe there is some angriness, maybe there is some fear, self doubt, maybe there is several faces that you need to be using in front of others, depending on who is that person. That is also creating a toxic relationship. And if you have your eyes closed, open it. And if you want to write it down, write it down. And use this time to write it down, whatever you found. And at the end, this connection with ourselves, what we have done now, what it's doing is unlocking clarity. And when you have clarity, you can do something about it. If you don't have clarity, okay, I will continue living my life the way it is because I don't know anything else to do. How did you connect, William, with this?
Oh, I just remembered when I was early in the Air Force, still in training school. I tried that masculine domination stuff because they made me uh, put me in charge of keeping the day room clean. Boy, I thought I was somebody. No, there were several other day rooms in the dorms that we were in, and it took me a couple of weeks to learn that was a stupid way to try and it's like keep my day room floor clean or I'll hurt you. Yeah, that happened, right? So yeah, I learned quickly that doesn't work with other people. So um, anyway, more flies with honey than with vinegar.
So the action steps we talk about them in the during the meditation. So one is increase awareness. That's exactly why we did the meditation. Some self reflection. What are the areas of growth? The opportunities that you have. Second one, reflect on your beliefs and behaviors, where you can challenge and unlearn some of the attitudes that you have right now or the actions that you are taking. Maybe they are harmful. Maybe you can do something about it, and even what you can commit. What are this personal growth that you can commit? What is that thing that you want to commit? Like, okay, I understand what you are saying. I want to commit to this new thing. How I am going to be more healthier on this or not. And third, be aware of your own emotions. What is happening when you are in that emotion? Start to feel it. And, okay, what is happening? Why I'm happening? Why I'm feeling like this? Start to listen what others are saying. What is your interaction? Do you have empathy or not? Are you being vulnerable, or are you being just the perfect guy that nobody uh, can touch? So that's everything. Any
Yeah.
last thought?
Oh, it was just remember emotions are emotions. They're supposed to be in motion. They can't kill us, and we don't have to act on them. I've punched through a couple of walls in my life and it didn't go well afterwards. So, yeah,
An emotion is an energy emotion. That's something that we always say, and it's like, okay, we are energy, and we are supposed to be emotion. So that's why we have emotions, and we don't have to suppress them. We have to live with them and enjoy them. So this show can also be heard on the Spanglish Radio Network. Please check out spanglishworld.ca for all the news and programming. Spanglish World, watch it, hear it, read it, download it, and live it. Thank you, William. Thank you all. See you next week.
see you next week for part 2 of Toxic Masculinity.